The desert at night holds a strange kind of silence. It's not just dark. It's like the whole world is holding its breath. Tonight, a young camel herder named Ali sits on a rock outside his camp. In the distance, the three great pyramids of Giza rise against the moonlight, like giants guarding the gates of time. Ali has always been fascinated by them. He's heard the whispers from the elders, stories that say the pyramids aren't just tombs. They say the pyramids are alive. They remember, and sometimes they speak. Ali often wondered what could possibly make stones talk. But tonight, he wouldn't have to wonder for long. The wind began to shift, and with it, a new sound carried across the sand. A whispering had begun. At first, Ali thought it was just the wind whistling through the cracks in the rocks. But this sound was different. It had a rhythm, a melody, a meaning. Come here. A voice seemed to call. Ali shot to his feet, his eyes scanning the empty landscape. There was no one. Just the endless sand, the vast sky, and the silent pyramids. Come here, Ali. His heart hammered against his ribs, but his feet, as if pulled by an invisible string, began to move forward. With every step, time seemed to stretch and distort. It felt less like walking and more like drifting through a dream. As he drew closer to the base of the Great Pyramid, the very ground beneath him started to tremble. A soft blue light seeped from a crack in a large stone, like a tear in the fabric of the world itself, and from that light a figure emerged. A tall, regal figure, draped in a golden robe, with a cobra crown upon his head. Ali knew him instantly. As! It was Pharaoh Khufu. The pharaoh didn't speak with his mouth. His voice resonated directly in Ali's mind, each word washing over him like a wave. You have heard my call. Not everyone can. Ali trembled, his voice barely a whisper. I'm just a camel boy. Why me? The pharaoh's eyes, as deep and dark as a desert lake at midnight, held a gentle smile. Because you have a heart that listens. He raised his hand, and in a blink, the world around Ali transformed. He was no longer standing on the silent sands. He was in the midst of thousands of workers. Some were pulling massive ropes. Others were chiseling stone with rhythmic precision, their work songs echoing in the air. Together, they were hoisting a colossal block of limestone into place. This is the 1-1000-4-100-60- day of construction, the pharaoh's voice explained. I am showing you what time has buried. Ali stared, utterly captivated. The stories he'd heard his whole life were playing out before his eyes. Blocks of stone weighing several tons were being hauled up ramps on wooden sleds. It was a spectacle of human will and ingenuity. People still ask how we built the pyramids, the pharaoh's voice continued. He placed a spectral hand over Ali's heart. It was not by strength alone, it was by faith. Then he pointed towards the sky. Ali saw a group of ancient Egyptian scholars, their eyes fixed on the heavens. They held strange astronomical instruments, meticulously calculating the positions of the sun, the moon, and the North Star. We aligned every angle, every passage, to the stars, the pharaoh explained, so that this structure would stand true for thousands of years, unwavering by even a single degree. But why? Ali asked, his voice full of awe. The pharaoh looked up at the magnificent structure taking shape before them, a mountain of human endeavor. He spoke slowly, his words filled with a timeless passion. Because I wanted to create something that would make even time itself pause and wonder. The pharaoh then guided Ali through the pyramid's interior. They moved like ghosts through stone-walled tunnels, up steep passages, and into chambers hidden from the world for millennia. As they walked, the entire pyramid began to glow from within, as if it were a giant, intricate lantern. People say I built this as my tomb, the pharaoh said with a soft laugh. No, I built it to live forever. Ali was confused. But death comes for everyone, doesn't it? The body perishes, the pharaoh agreed. But the will, the dream, the idea, those can be immortal. He rested his hands on the cool surface of the stone walls. Every single one of these stones is a testament, an oath that humankind can make the impossible possible. The air vibrated with the weight of that conviction, a promise sealed in stone and stars. Then, in a gesture that would have been unimaginable to anyone from his time, the great pharaoh Khufu knelt before the small camel herder. Ali, he said, his voice now gentle and personal, I called you here because you carry a dream within you, a dream you have not yet discovered yourself. Ali's breath caught in his throat. A dream? He didn't know what it could be. You were drawn to this vision of my life's work, the pharaoh continued, not because of its history, but because you too long to create something meaningful, something that will last. A wave of recognition washed over Ali. He was right. Deep down, Ali had always felt a pull towards something more, a feeling that his life was meant for more than just herding camels across the endless sands. The pharaoh then placed a small, smooth stone, perfectly carved into the shape of a pyramid, into Ali's hand. When you find your true dream, he instructed, place this stone at its foundation. Let it be the first block of your own great wonder. As suddenly as it began, the blue light faded. The crowds of workers, the sounds of construction, the luminous passages, they all dissolved back into the night. Ali blinked, his eyes adjusting to the familiar darkness. He was standing alone, once more, before the immense silent pyramid. But now, the first rays of dawn were breaking over the horizon. The rising sun struck the peak of the pyramid, setting it ablaze with a brilliant golden light. He looked down at his hand. The small stone pyramid was still there, cool and solid. It hadn't been a dream. A whisper, like the pharaoh's voice carried on the wind, brushed past his ear. You have heard me, and let the world hear you. Ali closed his hand tightly around the stone. A smile spread across his face. He was no longer just Ali, the boy who watched the camels. He knew with absolute certainty that a new journey had just begun. That very day, Ali left his village. He wasn't running away. He was running towards his destiny. He traveled to the great cities of Alexandria and Memphis, to every corner of his world where knowledge and inspiration could be found. He was no longer a boy adrift in the desert, but a young man with a purpose, carrying a secret whispered by a king. He was on his way to becoming himself, to finding the dream that the pharaoh had seen within him. And in his pocket he carried the first stone, the cornerstone of a new wonder the world had yet to see. This was not the end of a story, but the true beginning of his. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the heart of the pyramids. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what happens next. What do you think Ali's great wonder will be? Let me know in the comments below. Till next time, keep dreaming big.